Hi everyone and welcome back to the monthly WARNO tournament for August from SD League. Today we are with Mix90, who I'm pretty sure is a 90s mix CD, and Adler 3000. Adler is over on the right in red playing as the 8th Infantry, and over on the left in blue we have Mix playing as the 82nd Airborne. Let's have a look at what Adler's got down. Good amount of scouts and some M150s going up the front here. The M150s obviously have that tow launcher. Also some chopper recon. Then at the back here, we've got one machine gunner going at the top there. We've got a mixture of a lot of Fliegerforce, 3 of them. No, 4, sorry. And 2 machine gunners heading to the center. Obviously concerned about choppers coming from the 82nd Airborne. Down here, we've got a Jaeger, an Ihawk, some mech rifles, and some supply for the Ihawk. And then here, we've got a Chaparral, some more supply, Rangers, and mech rifles. Over all of that, mostly defensive in nature. Over this side, we've got some Fighting Dragons Airborne, some Stingers and Airborne Dragons heading up to this top area. Much more going there for Mix. In the center, Airborne Dragons, Snipers, Scout, Stinger. Pretty usual stuff. Down here, much more aggressive push by the looks of it. We've got Airborne pushing up pretty hard here, along with some Airborne Engineers and the Airborne Scouts. Just contesting that immediately. And then we've got, oh, interestingly, another hard push here. Look, trying to get some units into there. Splitting off a bit. Stinger at the back. Scouts, I assume, going up there, or maybe the Dragon. Could be either. Let's see. No, it is going to be the Scouts. Rangers getting dropped off here, getting there nice and early to contest this. I don't suspect he knew it was coming, but he is there ready for it, if it can land. Oh, it's getting shot at. It's trying to land and deposit those Rangers. There we go, it is down. Airborne Scouts taking fire. Other Airborne moving across now, and the Engineers Flash moving over. F-15 Eagle coming in for that Black Hawk. Misses with its missile. The Ihawk didn't get a shot off at the Eagle. It's coming back round. Why is that Ihawk not firing? It is now. And the Chaparral's firing as well. Dodges a lot, the F-15. Dodges a lot. A little bit of skirmish up here, but Mix certainly has the upper hand here. I mean, he's got more units there. There's literally just one machine gunner there trying to hold off all of these units. A little bit more in the middle, maybe, but really it's only 2 machine guns and some Fliegerforce. Again, technically speaking, I believe Mix90 has the control here. Will have control of the point. That command is in. Command sat back here still for Adler. I don't know if he's bringing in anything else. Some Cannon Jagdpanzers coming in down at the bottom here. Adler managing to hold here fine. He's got the ACAVs now firing across at this building, as well as the Jaeger and the M113 at the back there. Shouldn't be an issue. That command was going to move up that way. There was another command there, but obviously having to have second thoughts because this is completely in the hands of Mix90 here. Does he still have the... He does still have the tank up there as well. There is no anti-tank here. The M150s are already dead. That one's further back here. There were 2 on the field originally. I only see the 1 now, though. Eagle coming in here. Not sure what it's going for. Just asserting air dominance, I guess. Another Abrams coming in for the bottom. Mix90's just swept in here and annihilated everything. Unfortunately, there was a lack of long-range anti-tank in the center here, other than the M150. And the M150, sadly, with a standard tow, just isn't great. I mean, it's fine if you bring them in later and they're sort of sat at distance, but as a frontline unit, they're very easy to kill. Lots of fire teams coming in for the center now. Adler obviously wanting to push back in there. Has managed to progress out of here. Now, if Adler pushes hard here, Adler could get into this point. There's nothing defending it. There's the Fire Team Dragon there, and there's the Engineer's Flash with 2 units left. But there is reinforcements coming in there. Snipers, Airborne, and 2 tanks coming into this area. He'd have to move quickly. And I'm not sure he has the forces to withstand those tanks, to be honest. But engineers flash coming in at the top there by the looks of it, and a Jaeger squad to deal with that airborne. Engineers flash there, should die. More fire team coming in and an airborne dragon. Fire team and airborne at the top as well. M60 coming in at the bottom now. Abrams has arrived, already tearing into those scouts at the front there. These guys, Rangers, pretty good squad, but unfortunately badly damaged here, so will not be very useful against the airborne. Airborne will also make short work of the M113. About numbers at the moment, I think, this game, and in terms of numbers, realistically, I believe Mix has the upper hand. Just in what's actually available. Badly damaged airborne scouts there being pulled back. These fire team 84s coming in. Nice big squads. They're going to deploy over here. Needs to be careful though, because those airborne could easily kill these squads. Needs to be very, very careful. Fire team 84 there. Are these guys going to deploy, or are they just sat there? These fire teams pushing up along with the Fliegerforst. Abrams there taking fire from the Jaeger. Fire support coming in from those kind of Jagdpanzers at the back. Looking good so far. Airborne coming in down here, though. We'll put pressure on those Rangers. That M113 is still alive. I'm surprised that wasn't already killed by the airborne coming in there. But the Rangers will not survive long. And there's more arriving here. Another AB Fire Team 84 coming in as well. There's a lot of firepower here. M60 coming in there. And M113A3 coming in there with an ITO. This is going to be really challenging for Adler, I think, here. He's going to have to expend a lot of resources getting back in the middle. If he can clear this area and deal with that tank, then at least he'll be back in the center with a command, potentially. But he needs to kill that M1IP. I'm wondering if he has any anti-tank in his deck in terms of aircraft. Obviously risky, because there are plenty of Avengers knocking around and Stingers. Or at least one Avenger. And obviously the F-15 is knocking about, but I think if he came in quickly and sniped that, at least it's a dead tank and he'd have more of a chance of getting in here. Bradley here again. This Fire Team 84, if it was in these buildings, would have popped that. But it's all the way back there and it can't see up the hill, obviously. For anyone who doesn't remember, or doesn't realise because you knew, this is a hill. You can't shoot up or down it. Well, not easily at least. Mix90 making a push on the bottom again here and does have the numbers to do it. Obviously everything that was here is pretty badly damaged. That supply was just arriving there. And obviously the two tanks here allowing him to push very hard. Proper combined arms going on. The airborne has been killed. The Bradley isn't firing in anymore. There's loads more infantry coming in at the top there to be deposited in here. These tanks need to die. Somehow these tanks need to die. Loads of engineers coming in here. Not sure where they're off to. Some are coming here and some are coming down here. Problem with engineers, as we discussed before, is they've got a satchel charge and they have to be on top of the enemy to use them, and stationary. And with a very mobile airborne team, I don't think they're going to be that much use. I imagine Mix would run away from them and just keep firing from range. Airborne here getting wrecked by all these kind of Jagdpanzers and everything else. But airborne have made it across here. Back into this area. Rifles trying to push into this area should technically overwhelm what's in there. Some fire support from the dragons back there. They are managing to see up that hill and engage. It doesn't look like they can from the line of sight tool, by the way, but there are situations where you can fire slightly up the hill and stuff. Mix90 made it into this bottom point. And he is bringing in an airborne leader as well to go in there. I'm not surprised by that. 9 minutes to the victory for Mix90. He's doing a really, really good job here. Engineers Flash pushing up this way with the Jaeger. More airborne coming in. Quite a lot of units here actually for Mix90. It feels like he's got loads on the field. And he's still managing to bring stuff in everywhere. M1A1 coming in here. This should be exactly what Adler needs. What happened to the M1 that was coming in as well? Did it move down to the bottom? It is. It's down at the bottom there with the M60 trying to engage these units. One of these tanks is badly damaged from that ITO, but the ITO obviously really close to the front line, so easily picked off by these tanks. I think right now, Mix just has the positioning on the units as well. Bradley there able to fire down at stuff without any infantry poking it. Stinger coming in here, going for this building. Immediately engaging on those Jaeger by the looks of it. Dragon's taking a lot of punishment here. Engineers are still alive down here. A lot of the infantry from Mix has been cleared up. There's certainly been some kills here. That Bradley was finally destroyed by one of these teams of infantry. But another loss of an infantry squad there that was pushing up that hill. And there's been no real movement here, unfortunately. Those airborne still defending that pretty well. Adler has managed to defend this point, bringing in more mech rifles at the back. Tow Cobra in here as well, though, and there's a lack of AA down here now. There is another Chaparral being called in at the back there. This Chaparral not quite in this part of the map to engage there. LRS and snipers and airborne moving in here along with that tank. There's two Tow Cobras here, just taking pot shots at these M113s at the back there. Lots of infantry skirmishing going on up here. I do feel like Adler should be winning this at the moment, but currently it is still +5. I feel like if Adler had concentrated on one side of this point, rather than trying to push in both at the same time, he may already have a command in there, which would have been ideal. But the command in here obviously makes a huge difference for Mix. 3 minutes to the victory. These airborne obviously just really good, big squads. Tow Cobra's now being engaged by that Chaparral. There's an Apache coming in as well now. Chaparral reloading currently. Didn't manage to get the kill on the second one, but I think took one down. More mech rifles being called in at the bottom there. Don't think he knows where the command is. Obviously sat in that building at the back there. There's no artillery in to fire at it, obviously. Huge force coming in here now. Needs to be careful with that CV. Is rushing it in because he knows he needs to regain some points here and regain some control. But obviously pushing it all the way up to the front there. Is it visible to that tank? Not quite. Not quite is the answer. At least not according to that. The airborne need to be taken out, really, before that can be safely moved in. Could move it into this side. It's a little bit thicker there anyway. Chopper's gone down there. The Apache is already down. Chaparral needs to be careful coming around the back there. Command is finally in here. That Jaeger obviously visible, taking a lot of fire from the tanks. And the Avenger also opening up with its machine gun. M1A1 pushing up. This could be really helpful. Should be able to take out the M1IP if it's close enough. Adler's forces having to run away at the top there though, and those airborne being pushed down to engage these from the back. Good maneuvering from Mix in this game. Another Apache coming in there. Engineers caught out in the open, getting torn apart. A little bit better down here, but again, the engineers are at range. They need to be on top of the enemy to be doing real damage. And obviously here, you know, these guys are trapped in a building, so those engineers being right up against this building would actually be quite helpful, because then they can utilize those satchel charges. There are 2 squads there that do have satchel charges left, in fact. But obviously, it could be the case that Adler is busy concentrating elsewhere. Has got a command in here. Still +2 to Mix. With 3 minutes to the victory. Kiowa coming in there with his rockets. Not a Kiowa warrior, which obviously would be putting that command vehicle at major risk. Looking a bit more solid here. Now he's focused on the top part and has managed to push in. But there are 3 squads of airborne coming down the back there, as well as some more fire team dragons coming in for here. Big skirmish going on at the top here. Engineers Flash versus Scout Jaeger and Engineers Flash. At the moment, it is looking like the Engineers Flash here are going to win this fight. The other squads obviously ran off down here. But they just seem to be in a better position right now. More reinforcements coming in for here. Just pile after pile of infantry being sent in here by Mix. Good use of the Kiowa to bring in fire support. Adler trying to move across this point now, looking for a kill on that command. Just looking for the command, I imagine, as well. Artillery pieces in now, firing at that building. He must have spotted it. Artillery will help. I'm sure he will leave the building as soon as that starts hitting. Supply there, trying to rearm that thing. And resupply it. More flash coming in for the middle. This is a real, literal uphill battle here for poor Adler, though. And there he goes. The command is back out the point. Victory in a matter of seconds, but I believe that was a surrender. It would have been over very quickly after that anyway. Commiserations there, Adler. Really, really difficult game. Mix just had complete control very early on. And it's very difficult then to maneuver back in, especially when you're going up a hill. It's a really, really difficult thing when you've sort of lost the map control at the start. Let's hop straight into game number 2 and see how that one goes. Hi everyone, welcome back to game number 2 with Adler and Mix90. Let's have a little look at what everyone has down. So Adler is over on the left playing in blue as the 2nd Infantry. And over on the right in red we have Mix playing as the 4th Motsuchi Division. Let's have a look at what he's got down. So we have plenty of forward deployment stuff here. So some Recon, some Metis, Strellas and SPG-9 all heading up here. Good mix of units. Then we've got some Strellas, Sharpshooter, Recon, Metis again, plenty of Metis and SPG-9s. Man after my own heart, good choices of units going up towards the center here. And then we've got some units heading quite aggressively up to this area as well. We've got some Jaeger squads. We've got some Strela as well. At the back here we have an Mi-24D. And then we have another Jaeger squad heading into the town there from quite far back. And we've got another Mi-24D heading over to Zulu as well. And then a command heading over to Papa. Over on the other side, we have a bunch of SAS heading up to Zulu. We've got some SAS heading into Oscar as well. And some Air Mobile Scouts going to the center along with a Gazelle Recon. At the back, we've got a Gazelle Rocket heading over here. And a Command Infantry heading down to Alpha first. HSF and various Javelins and HSF moving up here as well. It's a little bit funny, the placement on these roads now on the new version of this map. Some Gazelle rockets heading up here, but obviously there are anti-air units in that set of forward deployment. We've got some Wombats coming in here, and some mech rifles, or arm rifles I should say, as well as the Warrior Milan. And we got a Jaeger Commander at the top here. Really interesting spread of units for both players. We're not seeing the usual Mix going for the top here and Adler going for the bottom. It's sort of a proper mix all the way across the map. I would say that Mix has actually gone in quite heavy here And Adler's gone in quite heavy at the top, realistically. SAS engaging here on those FS Jaeger. Doing a good job at doing some serious damage to the Mi-24. That's both of those choppers down straight away at the start of this game. Over here, choppers going down at this end as well with those Strelas. SAS have managed to make it into these buildings. Managing to do some damage, though the infantry have made it in. Surely these Wombats and the SAS should take out those Strelas. HSF need to get into the buildings, really. There is a MiG-29 in the back here. Probably looking for some kills on some choppers. Right now, it looks like Adler is holding down here. Though these SAS getting a little bit overwhelmed, perhaps. Down here, the SAS losing out to these Jaeger, unfortunately. The HSF not even in the fight. That would be providing a lot of extra fire support to these guys if it was firing. They are now moving, getting closer. Loads of HSF being called in here. HSF being called in here as well. Command is in this point though. But currently, it is +1 to Adler. Skirmish is ongoing here. Those SAS are having to be pulled out. HSF have moved up, but still, unfortunately, not close enough to be engaging any of these forces. And all 3 squads of Jaeger are now engaging on the SAS. 1 SAS squad dead. The command is still coming in here. Feels risky because I actually think Adler's now losing this. Is struggling at the top as well. These SAS pushing over this way. I don't know if that's to stop reinforcements coming in, or they're looking for a command perhaps, but obviously the command has actually been moved out by Mix already. He doesn't need it in there. And at the moment, these units are tearing apart the HSF that are coming in. And mobile scouts coming in there, and some Gazelle rockets coming in as well for this point. Some Motsuchin being called in there by Mix. Lots of reinforcement being called in at the bottom there, actually. Command moved back out by Adler. SAS here moving into defensive positions. A single Jaeger squad versus an SAS squad. SAS were already a little bit damaged. Have managed to stun down the Jaeger temporarily. This will be an interesting fight. SAS obviously managing to do a lot of cohesion damage as they came in there. So the FS Jaeger should be doing worse in this fight. It's certainly looking that way. Lots of explosions within the building there. You know, I've never zoomed in and actually watched. Oh. Oh, that's 2 BMP-1s coming in the back there, engaging on those SAS as well. That might easily turn the tide, I think. SAS here leaving the district, heading over this way. More HSF have arrived. This one badly damaged, but did survive. Should be in this point. The command is coming in as well. Right now, it is +2 to Adler. Adler's not doing bad at all here. He just needs to keep control of the points and keep pummeling this area with more reinforcements. If he can keep piling stuff in and pummeling the reinforcements that come in from Mix90, he should hold that point as well. Unfortunately, the SAS obviously badly damaged there. He will need to repair them. And that's one thing I'm not seeing at the moment is repair trucks. I'm not seeing any supply coming in. And unfortunately, he has lost most of the SAS that came in down here. He's got 1 squad left. Up here, he's got... That squad's going to die any second now. The command has arrived for that point. It is currently +3. It will be plus even more in a moment. There we go, +4. That SAS did die. This one getting pummeled by multiple units now. It is trying to run away though, thankfully. More HSF coming in from the top here. Needs to be careful. Oh, it doesn't need to be careful. The SPG-9 is out of ammunition. Command is being moved back in that top corner. Bunch of T-55As coming in here, and an Mi-2. Now, the HSF don't have any anti-tank, so really good choice to bring in tanks there. Down here, command is having to be moved back in, as there is a command in here for Mix. He's also moving units down this way. Mix obviously has the support of BMPs here, which those HSF cannot deal with. The SAS can, and they still have a couple of launchers left. But they really need a resupply, and here we go. A resupply is on the way, but it's coming down that road right next to that SPG-9. And that SPG-9 may get a kill here on that supply truck as it comes in. There it goes. It is firing at it. Has plenty of shots left. Side shot, instant kill. That's really unfortunate. Up here at the top, still lots of skirmishing going on here. These HSF, though, getting absolutely wrecked by the BMPs. They cannot do anything about those BMPs. SAS have managed to kill the command. No, they haven't. The command was moved round and out. I tell a lie. Mix being very careful with that command. Moved it away from the SAS. Back in this top corner now with a good amount of units across the middle here. And unfortunately, Adler, no way to deal with these tanks. There's the SAS squad there, but they are out of AT4 launchers. The Wombat is down here. But obviously, they're well out of range at the moment. And the Wombat only has 3 shots left, so probably isn't going to do enough damage to kill all these vehicles. SAS getting torn apart by those T-55s. Not looking good for Adler at the top there. A complete lack of anti-tank. And down at the bottom, I think he's falling into the same trap. Arm rifles have arrived down the bottom here, which is really good news. Arm rifles should be able to deal with these units. Should be able to get over here and kill that command. That's what he's going for here. He's charging the command. Command is being run away, though. Can the arm rifles get a shot? Yes, and they get a kill. Beautiful kill. Nice kill on that command there. Lots of ongoing skirmishing here. Flame troops, though, absolutely railing on the command at the back there. It needs to be moved urgently away from those flame troops and away from the infantry in general. It's being targeted down. Up at the top there. Not looking good. Mix90 in better and better control at that point with more reinforcements arriving. Some arm rifles finally arriving with Warrior Milans and some M48s there for Adler. That's really good now to bring in those reinforcements. Air mobiles coming in as well. Finally, some units that can actually do some damage to these vehicles. Down here, Warriors and Foxes firing in against these infantry. That command is just to stay alive there. These squads should go down, but very badly damaged infantry on both sides here. And right now, certainly more infantry that are still alive on the side of Mix90. So I think he's actually going to take this point as well at the moment. More HSF coming in. One thing that the 2nd Infantry lack is a flame unit. They do not have flame infantry. They only have engineers. I've seen a lot of people using these HSF. I'm not a big fan myself. Command being run away here, but unfortunately, once again, Mix is in firm control at that point at the moment. Harrier rocket attack coming in here to finish off that infantry. Can it see anything else? No, it is veering off target. There is a MiG-29 somewhere on the map. Or somewhere in play, I should say. It's probably off the map at the moment. I'm expecting it to come back in for that anytime soon. I'm not aware that it was shot down, but I could have missed it. But there isn't a lot of AA on the side of Adler for that to happen. All those HSF arriving now. Pioneer Flams there still have some flames left. T-55 coming around here. Should get a kill on that Fox. More T-55s being called in. FS Jaeger Commander coming in for that point. Arm rifles hanging on for their dear life in the edge here, along with some HSF, but they're simply overwhelmed. This point will eventually go back to Mix. He just doesn't have a command there at the moment. Harrier rocket coming in to get some kills. Not sure if it actually got a kill there coming in. Pioneer Flams here. Surely, no, they're retreating. These HSF not in range to get shots on them anyway. Air mobiles at the back here, not moving in at the moment, unfortunately. Warrior Milan moving up, trying to get a kill on that tank, I think. But that tank obviously in a better position to get a quick snap kill. Ooh, Warrior does manage to withstand one shot. Good rocket attack jet coming in there. Does get a kill on that command. You should be happy with that. Oh, this is going to be close here. The warrior trying hard, but what is it doing? Oh, the warrior turned. I mean, it was dead anyway if that shell hit, but it turned its side anyway. I don't know what it was doing there. Pioneer's being chased down by the HSF here. Arm rifles right at the edge of that point. Adler managing to hold in the end. I thought he was going to get pushed out, but he has managed to hold by pushing more units in. But at the top, Mix firmly in control of that point. Another command coming in for the top there. Currently just +2 to Adler. But he does have a nice lead on the points. Would win in 13 minutes, but whether the game lasts that long, I'm not sure. It's all going to depend on whether Mix pushes that back point and whether Adler can hold down here and try and push this point. That could make all the difference. If Adler can take this out and push through to Lima, he can take this game. But my concern is he's not going to manage that. Some defensive forces being called in at this side now, which I think is a really good choice, because it does look like Mix is pushing a bit. Maybe just getting into more forward defensive positions at the moment. Obviously, all the tank fire support here is really, really good. As we talked about before with this town, the fire support, or the ability for tanks to fire in, is quite good. People don't realize it because the line of sight tool doesn't necessarily show it. But actually, it's very good to position vehicles out here and fire into this town. As you can see, these tanks managing to do quite a lot of damage. Aggressively, these tanks being moved up into the town there to try and get to the back. Air mobiles arriving now. Mostly HSF in here again. And once more, these tanks can just tear them apart. Oh, those tanks firing on these air mobiles. One is dead already. This one should deploy, though. Air mobiles up here, very far away from those tanks. The air mobiles need to be in the face of these tanks at the moment. Not a huge amount of movement there. Wombat taken out as it comes in down that road there. Has had to deploy early. Another command tank coming in here for this point. Gotta be honest, it's not looking great for Adler right now. He's lost a lot of units. It's looking a lot redder on the map right now. And it's all of these HSF. They have no anti-tank. They cannot deal with all of these T-55s that are coming in. And the air mobiles are not getting close enough to fire at them. They're getting torn apart. Harrier rocket attack coming in. Going for the Jaeger there. Might be better those Harriers targeting down some of these tanks. They're not guaranteed to kill, but the rockets actually do a reasonable amount of damage to tanks. Mig-29 coming in for that Harrier. And G-22 coming in there, going for that Challenger. Challenger there, getting very close to enemy units. And there we go, Commander's in this point, +2 currently to Mix. Mix doing a really good job here. Has the map control at the top. Good forward positioning on that defense now. And has managed to secure down here. Really good response to what Adler was bringing in. Adler was bringing in a lot of HSF. And when Mix realized this, he started bringing in vehicles. Tanks in particular. And they absolutely annihilated what was there. Both at the top and the bottom. Mix in reasonably good control of this point. More reinforcements coming in to help secure it. I think Adler is in a sticky position now. Challenges will be handy for pushing back in here. Needs to make sure he has some recon as well, though, to be able to see what's going on and take out these T-55s with that Challenger. And this Challenger coming in this way. The Challengers are great. but you've got to be careful of aircraft coming in to snipe them. And you've got to be careful about T-55s and things getting really close to them, because obviously the closer they are, the more damage they do. Bit of a spread of units up here in defense of this point for Adler now. Bringing in some Milan 2s as well by the looks of it at the back there. Another command tank coming in here. I wonder... Oh yeah, look at this. Mix is going around the back with that T-55. He's thinking about pushing a command tank round the back as well, following in from that. I think that Lynx is maybe being used as a little bit of recon to see what's at the front there. And mobile scouts have arrived. Should be giving some line of sight into the front of the town. HSF being torn apart by those tanks there. Can the Challenger assist? Yes, it can. They all smoke very quickly. They don't want to fight that Challenger. More reinforcements coming in. Coming in down here, yeah. I don't know if those HSF have seen these units going in there, but obviously the intention will be that Mix gets these units round into Alpha and takes that. He's not going to bother pushing the top. He's just going to hold, and he's going to push to Alpha past these units. There's a Wombat coming in here, going a funny way around to get into that point. I think that's just... Is that because... Yeah, there's no road down the middle of that point. Taken out by the tank there. That should have given the game away that Mix has units around the back, but I don't know if it was spotted. Yeah, it has been, because the M48 is moving down that way. Challenger moving up to this area. But Mix building himself a nice defensive line there. Those tanks... That one stopped. Had second thoughts. Now you can see that M48 coming down, I think. Although I'm not sure anything could see that M48. The T-55 might have seen it before it went back into the deep forest. Mix-29 coming in there, gets a kill on the Gazelle rocket. Anti-tank jet coming in here, going for a kill on that Challenger. Veers off at the last minute though. MiG-29 went down in the back there. I don't know if it was the Javelins or the tracked Rapier that got that. Don't think there's a Rapier FSA in play. The radar variant. And mobiles coming down to this point, but again, they're coming down that main road. So are at risk of something potentially shooting them. Loads more reinforcements getting called in here. BMP 1s with Motsuchin. Still +2 currently. It's a slow tick up though. Adler had a really good head start. The question is, can he get back into this point? Mix is just pumping units in there. Challenger command tank coming in. That is an expensive purchase. Air mobile here. Having to deploy early. Air mobile in a chopper there. Also trying to deploy. Air mobile just charging across the open ground at this tank here. The M48 seemingly not in range to fire at that. There it is now. But the poor air mobiles being absolutely torn apart going across there. M48 struggling to get a hit. The air mobile's not long for this world. SU-22 goes down. Didn't manage to get a kill on a tank there. Finally, the T-55 goes down. Air mobiles need to get themselves out of that field. They are not looking healthy. Air mobiles coming down here looking for a kill on that tank as well. Potentially well defended here. Well, there are plenty of units pushing through the forest here now. Lots of fire going out against these defensive units. This Challenger at the back there. Not up and engaging, unfortunately. Harrier rockets coming in. That one unfortunately didn't seem to get any hits on anything. It's whatever it was aimed at must have vanished. Lots of Strelas down here now, though. Loads of Strelas and the Adler. Harrier goes down. The other one very badly damaged. Should just get out alive, though. Quite a sizable force moving through this area now. M48 taking fire at the Adler there. As Air Mobile, sorry to say, just sat out in the open. And not long for this world, more reinforcements arriving to push around that way. Arm rifles coming in here in Warriors. MI2 sat around the back there. Otsuchin still making progress. Those air mobiles almost dead. BMP should finish them off. Ooh. M48 pulling up a fight. BMP engaging on it though. There it goes. It is dead. Air mobiles out of lore 80, so can't actually do anything to that BMP3 unfortunately. Milan is firing at it though. Can it get a kill? Yes it can. Well done to the Milan. Milan only has one missile left though. MiG-29 in the back there, and the Phantom not going toe to toe at the moment. Mi-24Ds coming around the back here, likely to also assault this point. Air mobiles coming in to try and defend. Arm rifles pushing across here. Now the problem is for the poor arm rifles, there's a lot of stuff lined up to fire at them. Various tanks. Are there enough tanks here to counterfire that and do some damage back? Phantom has gone down. Another Phantom badly damaged. SPG-9 already firing at these units as they push across. Challenger pushing up, including the command Challenger. M48 sat back at the moment. The tanks are now firing. T-55 also firing out. Those Challengers need to get in the face of these tanks. Needs to be careful though, because it can be sideshot by this one here. This Challenger also needs to be part of this fight really. Motsuchin needs to be careful because side shots potentially on these Challengers just seem not to be able to see and fire at these tanks. Adler's having a very rough game again here, trying to push back into this point. Look at all these Mi-24Ds lined up here. That is an expensive set of units. But there isn't really any air defense in that point. It's all over here. So they should be quite effective at hitting this side. M48 is getting some shots off on this building. Still a lot of units just slowly making their way through here. I don't think Mix is in any rush. Lots of choppers coming in. Another two Mi-2s. Mi-24P heading across the center here. Probably looking for a kill on some of these tanks. BMP's pushing out here towards this area to provide some fire support. The Milan could get caught out in the open here. It's actually on a move order and not an attack move order, which means that these guys will be able to fire at it if they can see it. There we go, it has been spotted. Oh, they're firing at this. I thought they were firing at the Milan 2. Milan 2 is now in cover. All these choppers just waiting to go in. Anti-tank came in there, but didn't get a kill on the Challenger. One is damaged, though. Good push on this building here. Lots of fire going in. That Milan 2 can see stuff. Well defended here by Adler so far. He is holding. But Mix is about to take over in points, and these choppers surely are going to annihilate everything in these buildings. Warriors being moved down. Tractor Rapier and Javelins being called in. But they're going to be late to the party. This point's already been cleared out. Where's the command tank gone? Oh, there it is. Trundling along at the back there. Javelin getting absolutely wrecked by those choppers. Tractor Rapier has moved up. Obviously these things quite good at dodging missiles, even though they don't have any ECM. Challenger's getting absolutely minced there by all these rockets, and obviously there's AT weapons there as well. It's not like they don't have ATGMs. SU-22 came in there. Challenger Mark II has been destroyed finally by one of those SU-22s. Mix getting very close to pushing over the mark for those points. And has managed to take control of this point here. The command is about to move in. +4 will be +6 momentarily. HE Bomber coming in here, looking for a kill on something, I assume. Tractor Rapier. Nice strike. Gets the kill. Plenty of missiles still left with these guys coming in, but there is the surrender. Commiserations, Adler. 2 very difficult games. Really well played to both of you. But Mix really did a good job there, once again, at pushing in and controlling the map, controlling the flow of play, and obviously pushing around the back at the bottom there. Really did pan out for him in the end. Very close on kills to losses there, though, guys. Very close. Well played to both of you. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please do like, share, subscribe. I'll see you all soon for some more WARNO.